Good morning. Good morning. It's Sunday, May 1st, and we are back at it. Spring break is over. Had a great time, though. But back to the monies.
You just want the recipe, I said it's all grind. Had to go through in the rain to watch the day shine. This testimony taking faith, my glory go to God. Said I'ma keep this pace, I ain't racing this marathon. Package up in my carry-on, smooth, super shy vibes. Sit back and play it cool while we vibe out. Sit and taste this food, have a drinking good time. But we all living fast, but we gon' die fly. We gon' die fly.
Do say my cup on this one.
Show.
Malachi. It's Malachi.
Good morning. Good morning. It's Sunday, May 1st, and we are back at it. Spring break is over. Had a great time, though. But back to the monies. The month of May is booked. Like, I'm not taking anything else for the month of May. I can't even really take meal prep clients for the month of May. So I'm, thank God, is very, very grateful for all the business I have. But we got a very busy month of May. We got some traveling we're doing. Traveling 3 times this month, which is fun. We're gonna be doing some sous jobs at the end of the month with my guy Chef John Belvin. Shout out to my guy. But yeah, we got Jazz Fest is in town, so we got like 4 jobs this week, some weekend jobs. Next week out of town for Mother's Day. It's grind season, and I'm really glad I took that time. What I've noticed is that a lot of times, either right after or right before I'm very busy, I always get some rest in. And it's weird. I used to kind of question it and kind of used to be very sad about it. Oh my God, I'm gonna make money and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I don't know, like the universe just knows, like, hey bro, you about to be busy, let's get some rest in, Even though I was very outside. But still, it was time, just to, with myself, with the homies, with Jay, like just really, enjoying the fruits of the labor. I actually got to celebrate myself a little bit, which is new because I'm not really a person that likes to celebrate themselves. That's something I have to really learn how to do. But some great things have been happening. My ebook with Drika came out. So Drika Gates, Kevin Gates are a client of mine. I do weekly meal drop off for the family and things like that. So Drika's been a client of mine for several months actually. Everyone's always, how did you get Drika? Look, she found me. Like, and it's not like, and I don't say that to be very like, oh, she found me, but no, like she found me. Like, one day I woke up to an email and, it was very, very simple email. She's telling me what she wanted, and, her signature just said Drika Gates, and I was like, is this real? Because a lot of times I do get a lot of fake inquiries. I don't know if any other small businesses or personal chefs out there get fake inquiries, but it's like as soon as your name and number and contact info get put on the internet, scammers just come out. So I get a lot of like fake emails, fake job inquiries. I can tell now by like the wordings and things that they say where it's like, okay, this ain't real. I don't even give them time anymore. But yeah, like, so I read the email and I was like, so I went to Jay. I was like, Jay, read this. And she was like, I don't think it's real. And I was like, I don't know what you think. She was like, I don't know. It's like, ask for a phone call. So set up a phone call, you know, especially if you're doing meal prep for someone like that, you know, and they have very specific dietary requests and things like that. I always like to have a phone call just so we make sure like it's clear communication. So I know exactly what you're wanting and know exactly what I'm able to provide, things like that. And as soon as I got on the phone, I heard the voice. I was like, oh, you know, she's definitely one of my celebrity crushes for forever. So it's like, I remember the first time meeting her, I was just smiling. I was like, oh, I feel like a little kid with a crush, man. It was fun. But so she's been a client from mine for a while, and she asked me what I want to get down with her doing an ebook. She was coming out with workout plan and some products and things like that, and asked me what I do, help her with our ebook, and bada bing, bada boom. So got an ebook that dropped with Gates, you know what I'm saying? It's a 21-day paleo plan. Go check me out, Drika.com. Holla at it, buy it, and I get a little piece of change off of it. So hey, but things are rolling. Let's say month of May is extremely busy going into the summer season. It's very exciting. I've been getting a lot of people, I guess, you know, kind of asking like, you know, hey, how do you get these clients? How do you do things, you know? Hey, how are you? Yes. Thank you.
Let me check on your baby.
All right, thank you. I had to stop getting my Starbucks on this Sunday morning. Yeah, but I get a lot of inquiries about people who are, you wanted to know, like, you know, kind of about the business, how do I do things, how do I get clients, and, you know, I tell everyone, you know, you can't, the grind is extremely important. Had a guy hit me up in my DMs the other day, you know, asking about how to get started and things like that, and I always end it with, but you can't fake the grind. Like people are just now seeing, I guess, the fruits of the labor. People are just now, you know, starting to see like me on social media, you know, kind of starting to see like the Google reviews and things like that. But it's like, I've been doing this since 2020 when no one knew me, you know. I've been doing this since pandemic, when traveling all across I-10 all the way from the corner of Houston.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You too. You know, I'm traveling from Houston to Gulf Shores, you know, like in Houston, doing a job for a Friday job, and literally like back on the road 2-3 o'clock in the morning to get back here to do something here in New Orleans. Like the grind is, you can't outwork the grind, you know. And again, people always want the, sorry, hold on, I'm going through this old parking lot. So I'm always asked a lot, how did I get started? Where do I get clients from and things like that? So literally I got started, I just started my business literally like just one day. It was okay, look, let me go ahead and just get everything in place and in order, so that when I'm ready to launch, you know, everything's already in place and not trying to play catch up. I always believe in making sure that you have a very strong foundation first when you do things. So just in case things, not just in case, but for when things get busy, you're already prepared and not trying to play catch up. You know what I mean? So I went ahead and I got all my LLC, my all my licensings, my insurance. Like I was working at Justine, so I kind of just saved some money up, and every time I needed to do something, I already had, the funds there. In which it kind of took a little bit, because again, I was working at Justine's on the line, so I wasn't making, a good amount of money to make a line cook money. But I started out with a service called Thumbtack. Thumb and like a tack, THUMB tack. And I believe that was kind of like one of my saving graces. Again, I started during the pandemic, and it was very much a learning experience doing all that. But Thumbtack was my service in which I started with. So it's like a matching service. So it's service providers are matched with people who need to find a service, right? So you need a personal chef. You put in, they ask like little preliminary questions of where you're going to be, where you need your chef, how many people, that type of thing. And then they match you with people who provide those services, in which they kind of match you up. And then you can, as the consumer, you can go through there and pick who you want and things like that. And I made sure that my profile was attractive and things like that, and it just really took off. Still, it went from 100% of my business was Thumbtack to now probably 50% of my business is Thumbtack. But when I mentioned like the grind and things like that, like, it's very important that when you're starting out on the business, when you start on this journey, that you're putting in the work to get clients. Like, that's what it is, like, yeah, you're grinding to do the jobs, but you also have to grind to get clients, because if people don't know you're there, then how can they hire you, And I'm talking like, I was doing small little Instagram, Facebook ads, to throwing out my business card anywhere, wherever I'm at, cooking off some food and just like dropping it off places, like following people DMs, and people, it's almost like cold calling, so I took a lot of things out which I learned in my business life, and I applied it to here. All the sales efforts, like when you're in a sales team, you're doing cold calls, you're doing cold drop-ins, you're out there hustling to get these sales, and I took that same mentality on trying to get clients. It's fallen in so many DMs and emails and things like that. It's like, hey, just let me introduce myself to you. Let me show you what my service in which I can provide. And if you don't need it, do you know someone who possibly could need my service? And I've probably sent out hundreds of those emails and DMs and stuff, and I've probably gotten back a couple of jobs from those, but those couple of jobs has always led to more jobs. You know what I mean? So again, it's even when they're putting out content, even putting out things on social media and stuff like that, like just put it out, just start, and the right people will always see you. Like even going back to Drika, like it was some things I was putting out where I was cooking with a lot of herbs and things like that. Like I'm very, when I went to culinary school, it was we were French trained, classically trained, and French cooking is always about just building depth and flavors into anything you do. And one thing my culinary teacher, he taught us was that building flavor from the bottom, which once you build flavor in the base of anything, is flavor throughout. And so she saw that I was cooking with a lot of herbs and things like that, and that's what she said that attracted her to my style of cooking was that, her and her family eat extremely healthy. So trying to build flavors into very, I guess, boring food, is hard. But, if you're eating healthy, you still want to eat good food. So it's like things like that, in which, like I said, I just was putting, some content out, and the right person saw me, which has led to a job that I've had for months. you know, and no one really knew about it. Like I'm not the type of person where I go around talking about my clients and the caliber of clients I serve, who I serve, and things like that. You know, my close friends and family, you know, they know. But besides that, like I don't go around, I guess, bragging or, you know, celebrity chef status type thing, because a lot of people who are on that status, they don't always want that out there. You know, what's one thing I've really learned about just like my past jobs and this job here is like, you know, people are very normal, and a lot of times when they're going to do things like this, vacations, you know, inviting people to their home, like they don't want all the cameras and people in their face, and, you know, especially if they're hiring you. It's like, look, I hired you to come do this service for me, you know, and if we take a photo or do a little photo op, you know, that's something that we do, but it's not always for everyone. And I really believe on giving it to my clients. Like I've had several NFL clients, NBA clients, things like that, and a lot of people just, they don't really know about it. It is not something I'm out here, you know, exaggerating or blasting, you know, for like celebrity status and things like that, because I'd rather have fortune over fame. You know, if fame leads to fortune, then it is what it is, but I'd rather have the fortune over fame. You know, I'd rather be known as someone who provides this amazing service than someone who's known for being social media famous and their product doesn't match what they bring to the forefront. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people who are famous for social media, but then when you hire them, and I'm talking not just cooking, I'm talking about any spectrum, you know, you hire them and their service doesn't match up to what you see, you know, because I guess again, you know, we've kind of put that expectation on them because of what they're posting, but it's like, damn, if you posting all this stuff, then you need to match up, you know, what you're posting. And so but I always, you know, your work got to speak for you, you know, and that is a very important part of any business. You know, your work has to speak. But enough of my rambling for today. We gotta get to work. I gotta go grocery shopping. I should have went grocery shopping yesterday, but here I am today, shopping before it's time. So it's about 11 a.m. Alexandria is meeting up with today. So this is Alexandria and I's first complete gig together. She did help me on a pizza party for the prep and things like that. So this is our first gig together. So you'll get introduced to her today. It's raining. You know, one thing about living in New Orleans, that is a very tropical place. A lot of people don't really realize that, you know, it's very tropical. It rains here sporadically, you know, more sporadically than any other place in Louisiana probably. Showers pop up and they go, especially now that it is May and it's hot. You know, hurricane season now. That's something you gotta be worried about. If you live in New Orleans, hurricane savings is always needed. Okay, but we're gonna go ahead. I got my over here Whole Foods. Got my list. Gotta have your list. Check it twice. And we're gonna go ahead and get the day started. So let's go. We'll catch up later on, everybody. All right. So grocery shopping's done. Not already done. Store number 1's done. Just left Whole Foods on Magazine. Now I'm going to Fresh Market. I only try to really deal with high quality type ingredients for my clients. Sometimes like my base level would be like a Rouse's, Publix, and then everything up from there. I try to catch a lot of like markets, so small business type markets, things like that, just because I know like the quality of the food is going to be, you know, extremely fresh and things like that. But back to what we was talking about, how I get clients, everything. So Thumbtack is probably about 50% of my business now. It was 100. Now I a lot of referral clients, repeat clients, and referrals coming from either friends or previous clients or just vendors I know, things like that. And it's all about building those relationships, especially in this type of business, because it is a personal, it's a private type of business. It's a luxury type service, you know, and relationships are your biggest contributor to your business in this type of world. So I always trying to make sure that those relationships are well oiled. Even have a referral program, so it's like 10% of the booking, you know. And the other day, one of my clients actually kind of hurt my heart, man. So my good friend Ben referred me to one of like a golf client, not a client, but like a someone in the golfing world that follows Ben, knew Ben, and was requesting services. Ben threw my information, and we got it hooked up. And I charged him my regular price for a 2-person dinner. So how I do my pricing is I charge a fee for like labor, supplies, all that type of thing, and then I charge on groceries separate. I started doing that about middle of last year. I could start kind of see the trend of groceries kind of going up. Grocery prices were starting to escalate a little bit. You kind of start seeing like little trends in the grocery store. So I used to work at a grocery store, so it's kind of like I know what I'm looking at, and so I can start seeing things, and it's like, okay, like I'm gonna lose money if I do all inclusive price for like food and labor and things like that. And I was actually starting to like lose money. My profit margins were starting to be a little off. And those are the type of things where it's like in the business world, like you have to notice things so you can pivot, so you can change, you know. Like that one little trend that I saw last year, and then I changed my pricings from doing all inclusive, you know, one price, to doing, okay, if you want lobster and steak, then you're gonna pay lobster and steak. You know, the grocery bill depends on what you do, because I don't like to give my clients a just here's my menu and pick from there. Because if I'm going to charge you the amount that I'm charging you, you know, I want you to get a full customized experience, you know, and then we can tailor it around your wants. You know, you tell me you want a certain, you know, theme of the menu, or you want certain items, and I can build a menu off of that, and not just you come picking my menu and I got like 3 or 4 menus and you just pick. You know, I just felt that was a different type of service that I can offer for me. And so with that, the prices, you know, grocery prices started to go up. So I changed it, and it worked out, because now with grocery prices being so high, I'm not trying to, you know, figure out and make sure my margins are right with menus and things like that. It's here's my labor price, and, you know, grocery price is probably gonna be estimated based off this, what the menu that we kind of worked out. So it kind of worked out with grocery prices and, you know, everything going, you know, high after AFP right now. So it worked out. But so the other day, got this client with Ben, and at the end of the service, he was like, man, this is amazing. Like, the experience was, you know, superb. You know, we had dinner out on the patio, and it was beautiful. And he was like, you know, thank you for the discount. You know, I know this costs way more than what you charged me. And, you know, I kind of gave him, like, you know, the little fake smile, like, you know, and inside I was like, oh my God, like, am I not charging enough? You know, and it goes back to this conversation in which, you know, I've been really going through about self-worth, and now I'm like reevaluating all my prices again. And it's funny, I was going back through my notebook. I always try to like really jot notes down, either my notebook, my phone, because, you know, sometimes it's just, you think of something and you may want to refer back to it. or it's just like a good idea. And every once a week I try to, like, any notes that I've had, big ideas, just ideas, like I really just jot them down. I really go through them once a week just to kind of like, like, what was this? What is this? Like, could this be something one day? You know, you'd be surprised what a good idea come up with, you know, Google, Tesla, those type of things. But I actually had some new prices written down, and I went away from them because when I was kind of, you know, talking to some people about the prices, kind of just running prices by people, they was like, oh no, you know, like those prices are way too high, you know, no one would buy that. And to hear him say that really kind of, you know, made me go back to those prices, you know, kind of maybe reevaluate them, because I'm always tinkering with my prices. I'm a tinker, so I'm always tinkering with different things in the business, changing this, changing that. And it's not major changes, it's little slight changes where it's like, you know, I see something, let me slightly change that. And if it goes well a couple of times, then it's in. Especially with my prices, like I'll raise the price maybe like $5 here, $10 here. And if I present my prices to potential clients and say, I always do a test on 5 people. If 3 or 5 take it, it's automatically in. These are new prices. If the very first person I present a new price to and they take it, it's automatically in. Because if you can buy it, then boom, it's a price, right? And I need to really sit down and evaluate prices again, because I'm very booked up for May. And anytime that any business, whenever business is going well and you're busy, and then it's time to raise prices, right? And it's not like being busy is not bad whatsoever. But if you are able to maintain the volume that you're doing at your prices now, then you need to go up on your prices, because you don't always want to be booked and busy. You want to be booked and busy, but you don't want to be booked out to capacity, because it's just not good business practices. So if you ever get too busy, raise your prices, because people will still buy you, because you already have that equity built up with your clientele, and they will buy it. They will still purchase your product, believe me, or services. But we're gonna go ahead and finish out this next grocery shop run. It's almost 12, and I want to get a little prep in because Alexandria comes at 2, so we can do some prep. So I just want to make sure everything's kind of straightened up with wherever she comes. So go ahead and get in here, and we will check back in with you later.
Malachi, Malachi, it's Malachi.